Emotions. The things that give us the ability to feel. That feels so good. That's something that we all like to feel. Good. In whatever form that comes in. Money, friends, love, food, sex. When we feel good, most of us like to express the feelings that we have, the emotions that feel good. But what about the emotions that don't feel so good? We've been conditioned as a society to suppress the emotions that don't feel so good. Instead of releasing it through expression, we keep them trapped inside of us, sickening our mind, our body, and our hearts. Yes, I just said that. Our minds, our bodies, and our hearts. When we suppress emotions long enough, they start to become who we are. Let's just say I have a feeling of disappointment. Okay, so that disappointment is starting to become who I am, and then I start to perceive reality through the lenses of disappointment. So every single thing that I do and that happens in life, I have that feeling of disappointment lingering in the background. No matter what I do, it is always there. Sometimes I feel it less, but no matter what, it's always there. So we've trapped that feeling of disappointment within us, creating the feeling of disappointment in almost everything and anything that happens in life. This begins to numb our emotions altogether because we're so sick of feeling disappointment. This is just our body's way of protecting us from being hurt. But feeling numb emotionally strips us from the greatest gift we have, feeling. To love and to express love is humans' greatest ability. Love is what heals all. Love is what creates. Love is what connects me to you. Suppressing our emotion debilitates us from being able to receive love and to express love. It's one of the greatest and biggest reasons we were all created. Here's the big question. But how do we release suppressed emotions? Whew, this is a big one. A really, really big one. But it's actually way simpler than we all think. Number one, acknowledgement. First, you have to acknowledge the emotions that are there for you. Usually there are multiple emotions, so I would suggest writing them down on a piece of paper. It's okay, I had to too, and when the list kept getting longer and longer as I pondered. So, acknowledging what it is that you feel inside. Number two, finding the source. Most of the emotions that we have trapped inside of us has actually come from our childhood and the earlier parts of our life. So identifying what it is that makes you feel this emotion. The emotion that I personally carried around was the feeling of not being good enough, and you saw it through every single one of my actions, like every single one of them. It stemmed from making so many mistakes in my life, and so making so many mistakes, that just started to build and build and build, and I started creating evidence like, man, I made this mistake, like it must mean I'm not good enough. So that kind of was like a small example to show you and help you understand exactly what I mean by finding the source of what the emotion comes from. Numero 3. Here's the tough one, but the most freeing one. Releasing by expressing. Once you've acknowledged the emotion and found the source, the emotion is probably already starting to surface, and I probably should have warned you. I am so sorry. I apologize. Next time I will warn you in advance. And this is where you completely let go and feel. Let it penetrate your whole being. Let it flood through your pores. Let the tears roll down your face. The snot and the spit drool. The kicks and the screams. Let it all go right now. Sob like an absolute baby. Funny story. What I do when I release emotions is I go into the bathroom, I lock the door, I turn off the lights, and I'll maybe turn on like a small little lamp. I will sit in the sink, stare at myself in the mirror, and cry and sob like an absolute baby. Yes, I stare at myself while I cry. It's just, I feel so much more connected in that moment of release. That's just a weird thing that I do, but it's funny because I'm literally sitting in the mirror like, like staring at myself. But eventually, I make myself feel better because I realize that I'm making so many freaking funny faces. So it always makes me feel better. But that's another story. Anyways, completely feel these emotions. And once you got to a point where you felt like you just have completely let go, tell yourself, it's okay that I feel this way. All of these emotions are completely a part of my journey, and I accept it. At this point, you're probably feeling pretty empty. And now it's time to refill that cup of yours. I want you to refill yourself with the opposite of the emotion that you just released. For example, my feeling was that I wasn't good enough. So now I would refill my cup with the feeling of being good enough. Repeat in your head what it is that you want to feel. Say it a few times in your head, and now feel it with your heart. And to those of you that have actually forgotten how to feel, in this step, all you have to do is simply bring your awareness to your heart for a few seconds. Take some deep breaths in, and naturally, the feeling should occur. Alright, beautiful, beautiful beings. I hope I gave you some further tools to create such a positive and loving experience in life. Remember, you are an absolute, wonderful, beautiful, courageous, loving, big-hearted creator. So get out there and create.